According to the guys in our next story, robots are a long way from outsmarting the human race, but this team is using a robot to try and figure out how we humans make choices.
How do we make decisions? Jeff and Brian at the University of California, Irvine built Carl here to crystallize how we tick.
CARL is our robot that we use for all our research, and it stands for Cognitive Anteater Robotics Laboratory. Anteater is the mascot of UC Irvine, if I made a nice name.
CARL is part of an emerging field called cognitive robotics.
There's 100 billion neurons in the brain. It's a really complex network problem, so you're going to need theoretical and computational models to get at the crux of how the brain works.
The idea is that if we model what we think how the brain operates, then when the robot does something successfully, we can then actually analyze the model that we created and use it to learn more about how the brain works.
His choices are based off of data from these resilient rodents.
They work for rewards and other things, and a lot of the studies with rats, we can actually make parallels to human behavior.
On what looks like a big Dance Dance Revolution pad, CARL is navigating the squares and learning as he goes.
It's like, Saturday Night Fever, and this is his disco floor. He's looking at the different colors with his color camera, sending back images to his brain. Those colors are then interpreted on the computer, and then the computer brain makes the association between red being the penalty and green being the rewards. And over the course of maybe 10 to 20 interactions, he actually learns to avoid red. And as he goes over the tile that's projecting the red, he actually gets a penalty. And in this case, the penalty is sort of a simulated shot of the serotonin. With the green, he actually gets a shot of the dopamine, which sort of enhances the reward aspect of it. And then now, anytime he sees the green, he'll go towards it and try and be around it as much as possible.
The key is to have CARL make the same decisions as his real rat counterpart.
What we're trying to do is bring these two things together. We need the models in order to study, but the models also have to reflect what really is going on in the brain.
To do this, they got Douglas Nitz from their partner school in San Diego on board.
So what we're doing is we're designing experiments that they can do down there on a real rat, and then we will do the same experiments up here with a simulated brain, and then essentially we'll compare results, and if the results sort of compare favorably, then those researchers can actually look at our computer model and give them more insight into what it is they're studying on the real rats.
As the rats complete their tasks, their decisions will be monitored by these 4 superfine wires that are placed inside the rat's brain.
Neurons are electrical devices, so when that information is passed around the brain, it happens in electrical impulses. And so we use wires to record those and see what the brain is doing when the rat is doing what he does. Electrical signals in the brain are very short, 1/2 of a millisecond. And so we have to sample very quickly at 32,000 samples per second. So it's quite a bit of information.
Even a high rate of information in this rat is only a fraction of what is happening in the human brain. But getting a glimpse into the decision-making process is what fascinates Jeff.
That's the beauty of these models, is you can look at every single neuron in his brain.
The things that affect our decisions are endless, but with robots like CARL, we're getting a peek at how these decisions are broken down.
We've got such a long way to go. In neuroscience, there's so much to learn right now. So it's a great field. I mean, it's just an open frontier right now, this complexity that I think is greater than anything we've probably ever undertaken as a scientific community.
That is what makes this team tick.